Heather, do you know who the deadliest woman in the world is?
Taylor Swift.
Oh, you sweet summer child. It's the Black Mamba, a.k.a. the Bride, played by Uma Thurman. She's on a relentless quest to find Bill. But before she can reach him, she has to face Cottonmouth, played by Lucy Liu. And before she even gets to Cottonmouth, she has to slice her way through the crazy 88s and their fierce bodyguard, Gogo Yaburi. After an epic showdown, one of the greatest fight scenes in all of cinematic history, Uma and Lucy Liu face off in a serene Japanese garden. The duel ends with Uma slicing the top of Cottonmouth's head clean off. And tonight, in Casa de Rooster, we've got a similar battle showdown. A battle between two formidable contenders. One will emerge victorious.
And then?
I'm gonna kill Bill, Heather.
I am gonna kill Bill.
What's up, Heather?
What's up, B? After that little introduction, I'm a little worried about you.
I can't help it. When I think about Quentin Tarantino and good bourbon, I just get fired up.
We can tell.
And tonight, we're putting two epic bottled and bond bourbons head to head. If they could just wield swords, it'd be amazing.
I don't think you need a sword right now.
Okay.
While we look into getting B professional help, I want to thank all of you for watching. We are committed to.
I might get committed.
I'll do that after the episode. I'd like to finish this first.
Sure.
We're committed to bringing you quality entertaining and educational content, and tonight's episode is no exception.
There's something all of you can do for us that's quick, easy, and free. And no, we are not televangelists. We would like you to click the thumbs up button. Go ahead, do it. It really helps us work the YouTube algorithm. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our new content.
That's right, B. And remember, everybody, we've got merch available now on our website. You can also donate to the Tortured Bourbon movement. Honestly, though, the best thing you can do is like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Now, let's see if B's calmed down enough to get into the episode.
Look, I'm good to go. You got to remember, I'm Generation X and Quentin Tarantino, and that's just our thing, That's just our thing.
As long as I've cleared any swords out of the room, we should be good to go.
So here we are in part 3 of our Bottled and Bond series. So far, Holiday faced off against Whiskey Row in 1792, went toe-to-toe with Heaven Hill.
And if you missed those episodes, you can click right up here or find the links at the end of the episode. But now it is time to meet tonight's contenders.
And I'm very excited about these contenders.
I know.
You can tell I'm geeking up because they have so much in common and they're so unique, and we're going to talk about that.
They come from very different areas.
They do. We're going to talk about that. But first up, hailing the great state of Kentucky, Bardstown Bourbon Company. We have their wheated Bottled and Bond from their Origin series. This 6-year expression presents the best locally sourced Kentucky corn and wheat grains. Features 20% wheat in the mash bill for a modern, beautifully balanced bourbon, at least they claim. Now, as we know, Bardstown Bourbon Company, as it's Bardstown, it's located in Bardstown, Kentucky, which is often called the bourbon capital of the world. And it was founded in 2014, so it's new to the game.
It's pretty recent.
And they started producing in 2016, but their motto is never stand still, and they've not. They're one of the most unique distilleries in the country. They're very sophisticated. They focus on transparency, clear glass, open spaces, and they put a lot of science into crafting their whiskey. Now, very interesting, one of the other things that they've taken on, we've heard about some companies that take on making the juice, for lack of a better term, for other distillers. That's what they do. And what they say is, versus like, we don't have 4 expressions, we scientifically can make the expression you want. So they're very into kind of being on that edge, and they're obviously hitting at a very interesting time. They do some very interesting blends. This is their origin series. I'm just very interested to try it. Some of their stuff gets relatively expensive, but this is more approachable. But I'm very excited. Now, its tasting notes, according to their website, baked peach with cream meets cocoa and a hint of lemon. I mean, that just sounds like dessert in a glass. An indulgent, smooth mouthfeel of stone fruit, which my wife would love because she's from Australia and they love their stone fruit. And toffee leads to an alluring and enduring finish. Beautiful bottle. You can tell it's kind of got a very scientific, it's kind of got a new modern look. It does not, it doesn't do edgy. And if you look through it, I don't know if the camera's going to catch it. We'll have a picture for it. But it actually has this nice tree in the back of it, looking through it.
You describing both their distillery and looking at their bottle, it feels very much like some of the kind of new restaurants we have in the Triangle area.
It does.
With the open kitchens and almost, everyone's watching kind of the scientific process happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this feels very much like very on brand with that.
Yep. And this one was distilled in the fall of 2017. So they put that right there on the bottle. And very excited.
Same.
Very excited.
But we have to talk about our other contender tonight, which I'm excited to introduce.
Absolutely.
Because it comes from right in our backyard, Statesville, North Carolina. We have Southern Star Paragon Bottled and Bond. According to their website, if there's one thing you should know about us, it's that we give a damn about our products, our people, and our process. So they work very closely with local farmers to source local ingredients and blend classic tradition with new innovation. So it sounds like they're very on brand with Bardstown.
Yep.
And it's all right there in Statesville. And actually, interesting fact, Statesville was once the epicenter of spirit production until the temperance movement kind of tempered all the fun in 1903.
Their packaging is very different. It looks more traditional, a little more maybe North Carolina, a little southern.
But it's got that classic bourbon maroon and gold.
Yeah, it's got that classic bourbon look. They also advertise that they are much into producing a liquor for your own business. So they do it with their locally sourcing. So they're doing it in two different ways, but they kind of have kind of this mission. They've kind of got this vision of being
that farm to table, locally sourced.
In episode 4, we again will be looking at 2 distillers who really take to that. So the next 2 weeks, we're really getting into that feel, that local, that farm to table, that locally sourced vibe, which has become very popular in the past 2 years.
Right, and you see things like that arise when you have something become in vogue.
That's
so with the rise of bourbon and popularity, you're getting these boutique niche distillers and companies who have to find their area.
And they're putting on the forefront of their website that's part of their vision. Tell us about that. Tell us about the tasting notes.
So first, the mash bill is 60% corn, 30% wheat, and 10% malted barley. So I'm guessing it's going to have a little sweetness to it.
Yeah.
It is aged for 4 years, as we know, to comply with bottled and bond standards. And according to the website, the aromas are going to be some sweet corn, honey, and a little bit of baking spice. Then the palate is going to bring us some flavors of butterscotch, toasted oak, a hint of citrus. So some similarity there with the Bardstown. And a smooth velvety finish that leaves a lasting impression. So before we get started, let's remind folks of our process. So in these Bottled to Bond battled episodes, we're going to taste them blind. Our awesome co-producer, Katie, has poured them. We have no idea which is which.
The Thunder from Down Under.
And then what are we going to do next after we taste them?
Look, we'll rate each one using our soon-to-be famous patented system.
So close.
So close. And we'll describe it. Just to summarize for you, we've got for the best of the best, we got Cock of the Walk.
That's right. And for something that's really good, we've got no complaints. Hush your mouth.
And obviously that everyday sipper, that good old reliable, that dog will hunt.
And for something that it's not terrible, but you really got to add something to it, bless your heart.
And then what we don't want to taste here at Tortured Bourbon is any more mellow corn, otherwise known as Piddlin. That's right.
Yeah, pass on that. So then after we do that, we'll pick our individual winner. Hopefully we'll agree. So far we're 2 for 2 and agreeing on the winner. And they will go to face off in our finalist showdown. And just to note, both of these are around $54. So we're staying consistent in this series and trying to pit two bourbons against each other that are a similar price point.
Similar price point. All right, folks. It's time for these two bourbon samurai to battle. Let's get started. And being they're bottled in Bond Wars, they got to have their swords. We gotta put them here.
I'm pretty sad you didn't bring actual swords.
You know what? If I could have got my hands on some lightsabers, this would have been amazing.
All right, so we're ready to start. This is number 1. Again, we don't know what this is.
We have no idea.
But to start, it's that classic bourbon
that,
color.
Oh yeah, absolutely gorgeous.
That amber. All right. I get some oak.
Okay.
A little corn, which is,
we should get a little corn.
We should get a little corn.
Oak and corn.
A little. I don't smell a lot of spice. I smell some sweetness.
Yeah, the spice is not hitting me.
It hit me though when I tasted it. It's got a little bit of a kick at the end.
Ooh, on the back it does.
Mm-hmm. It's spicy. It's not bad at all, but it's spicy. And to me, that almost overshadows. It's hard to pick out the individual flavors because the spice hits me and then the burn is what I get on the finish. I'm interested to hear your thoughts because you like spicy a little bit more than me.
But we've had some sweet lately that we've really liked. Mm-hmm. It's a slow sipper, but I think this has a very solid bourbon taste.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's generic. I'm saying that whatever this is, when I hand this to someone, this is bourbon.
This is Sparta!
To use an old country expression, this will put hair on your chest.
It will.
But like you said, it holds up. It holds its own. It's not a bad flavor. It's strong. And to me, it makes it hard for me to isolate the individual flavors. But I don't dislike it. So for me, honestly, I'm going to call it Bless Your Heart, but
wow.
Only for my personal taste, because for me to enjoy it the most, I would need to add, I think if I added some water droplets or put this over ice, I would enjoy it a lot more. Because for me, it would mellow that spice a little bit, and I think it would enable me to taste the flavors a little better. So I'm only rating it Bless Your Heart because I need to add something to it to enjoy it thoroughly. That's my justification, and I'm sticking to it.
I respect your opinion.
This is going to be the first time we very much disagree.
Very much disagree. But before I rate it, I'm going to set it right here, and we'll taste the other one.
Oh, you're going to wait? That feels like cheating.
We have a very similar color.
Mm-hmm. Very similar.
Very similar color.
Basically exactly the same.
Now, I hit more sweetness immediately.
I'm going to do the patented smell your arm first. Clear the nasal passage.
Shout out to Damien and Hoppy Endings.
So it's a very different smell. I smell the corn. I taste the mash bill in that one. I taste the corn. I taste the rye. This one I get the hint of citrus. I did not get the hint of citrus in the first one.
One of them's lemon and one of them's citrus.
What is lemon? Is lemon citrus?
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
right. As I said that, I was like, duh.
But that's fair. Your point is well taken. I'm not refined enough to call it lemon, but I get the hint of citrus in this one. Again, the other one was hard for me to pick out the individual flavors.
This one's better than the other one.
I absolutely agree.
But I'm not blessing the other one's heart. I'm just not going to bless the other one's heart. So, 1, 2.
So now that I'm comparing The smells. The first one has much more of a wood smell.
Yes.
Yeah. The second one is much more of a sweet smell. Kind of like what you said earlier. The first one, I think, is more like, I think it's what they were running back before the temperance movement, like chilled everything out. I think that this tastes and smells like what you got back in the late 1800s, like a bourbon. Whereas the second one has a bit more of a sophisticated palate, in my opinion.
So to me, both these are bless your heart.
Bless your heart?
No, hush your mouth.
They're
these are
hush your mouth. Really?
Both of these are hush your mouth.
Okay.
They're not cock of the walk.
Okay.
The second one is close to cock of the walk.
Really?
Yeah.
That is high praise.
I
I didn't think you were going to go all the way there.
Well, I didn't. I almost went there. And I'll tell you why. So, whichever one number 2 is, there's a lot of complexity.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Okay? The first one hits you with a lot of spice. To me, that's enjoyable. Now, I agree. I probably like it on the rocks better.
Mm-hmm.
All right? I'm not going to hold that, because we did a whole episode that if you drink your whiskey with ice, if you drink your whiskey neat, or you put a drop of water in it, that's okay. Mm-hmm. It's not changing the quality of the bourbon.
No.
In fact, it
can open up different flavors.
Open some different flavors. So I'm not going to hold that against it. I am going to say that whatever number 2 is a better bourbon, but they're both, for me, hush your mouth.
Okay. Well, I'm going to stick with my original
I
rating.
think you should.
For
I
one,
think you absolutely
I'm going
should.
to call it Bless Your Heart Plus, because I agree this is not...
Number 1 is Bless
Number
Your
one
Heart
is
Plus.
Bless Your Heart Plus.
Okay.
And I did it because, like I said, I need to add a little something to it, I think, to enjoy it.
Hey, that's fair.
The second one for me is That Dog Will Hunt, but it's a really solid dog. It's really good. It's not quite hush your mouth for me, though. So I think for both of us...
I'm really interested when we get to week 9, and when we have the Elite 8. I'm because I'm not doubting anything you say. I'm just curious how this is all going to play out.
Oh, I'm very curious.
Because I'm
probably going to completely contradict myself.
We're going to have price points from $19 to $120 plus.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to know.
No.
We're going to have some that consider themselves more rye, some more bourbon, obviously all whiskey, all bottled in bond, and it's going to be really interesting when we stack these bad boys up against one another.
But if Benchmark Bottled and Bond is my favorite,
hey,
you're going to owe me $20.
It is what it is. Okay, now from our Thunder from Down Under.
But first we have to pick.
Well, we
both picked 2.
We picked 2.
Just making
Two's the
sure.
winner.
We agree.
Two's the winner.
But which one do you think it is? I think that's the Bardstown, personally.
I'll go with Bardstown.
Okay, but either way, number 2 is both of our favorites. Correct.
But for me, I mean, if anyone wants to buy me a bottle of this,
you'll take it.
Oh yeah, and I'm really looking forward to visiting this distillery.
Yeah,
I mean,
hey, that could have been our winner. We don't know yet.
This is a few hours away, and I'm looking forward to it.
We don't know yet. All right, Thunder from Down Under.
Talk to us.
Tonight, you are correct. Number 2 is the Bardstown, and number 1 is the Southern Star.
All right, so our winner tonight is the Bardstown.
Okay.
I think it's a very solid bourbon. We both agree on that, don't we?
Absolutely.
All right, well, I'm going to cheers with that tonight because it was my favorite out of the 2.
But before we go to there,
we have another segment.
We have
Trivia with Ryan.
Let's do it.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Yeah, that was fun. Okay, so again, three questions: true, false, general, sports. But yeah, so you guys were talking about Kill Bill. You got a lot of sword references.
You mean B was talking about Kill Bill?
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got.
I did a lot of listening.
Well, but I mean, it was a very. You mentioned swords a lot, and it's funny because I didn't mention to you that the first trivia question has to do with swords in that movie. True, false. Approximately $30,000 of Kill Bill's budget was spent just on swords and sword accessories.
I'm going with true.
That almost feels low. We'll go with true.
True? It's actually false. It's double that. So
Wow.
they spent over $60,000 on swords and sword accessories in Kill Bill.
That's amazing. Hey, I'll take.
So-
So amazingly. So when he did Hateful Eight, Roger, don't you edit this out. When they did Hateful Eight, they borrowed a Martin guitar from the late 1800s. So Martin went and got it from they're made in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. They're a big deal. Anyone who's a guitar nerd, they know Martin guitars. So they went into their museum because they wanted a time appropriate guitar. And daggone if I think it was Kurt Russell, takes it and smashes it on set, thinking it's a prop. No,
Oh, no.
it is a
I've
never.
actually heard this.
It is a never can be replaced. So I don't want to know how much they owed Martin Guitar. But since then, Martin Guitars actually had to put in a whole rule that they will not lean out anything. Nothing.
Well, neither of those is my favorite Quentin Tarantino film.
But back to Quentin Tarantino, the man will spend the money on the props. So
He will. He will.
I should have guessed that as false.
All right, general trivia. You guys mentioned Bardstown and all of their various series that they do. How many bourbons are in Bardstown's Discovery series?
Oh, wow.
11, 13, or 15?
I screwed up the last one. Your turn. I have a gut, but I'm not going to go with it. That's my gut.
15.
It's 11.
That was my
Yeah.
Do not go with me tonight.
But
Look,
still,
we got this one right.
but
That's all that
in
matters.
their in your defense, they did, I think, just release the number 11 very recently. But
we will never
Regardless.
screw up as bad as we did the original
No,
Bottled
we
and
will
Bond
not.
episode. We were
No,
so
we will
convinced.
not.
All right, what's
all right,
number
last
3?
question.
Trivia.
Sports related. I couldn't really find anything on Kentucky sports and things like that, so I looked up Statesville sports.
Okay.
And
NASCAR.
well, yeah, but I didn't really pay attention. I'm not much of a NASCAR guy. But I just thought we'd go local with the local high school. So what is the mascot for Statesville High School?
Oh my god, I've driven by this
Okay,
stupid school 1,000 times.
I'm gonna give you 3 choices.
Oh, thank you.
All right,
I'll know it.
3 choices:
Their color's light blue.
Wildcats, Owls, or Greyhounds.
The Greyhounds.
It's the Greyhounds.
It is the Greyhounds.
Greyhounds.
It is the Greyhounds. However, they're also the Statesville Owls used to be a minor league team. Anyway, all right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
That's
Producer
fantastic.
Ryan. All right. Well, we got a little hometown. We got a little home state trivia. We picked the winner. I'm gonna call tonight a win, B.
I am, and I'm still looking forward to visiting Southern.
Oh,
Florida.
we can't wait, and we would love to connect with you guys and do a tour
Absolutely.
and pump you up. But as always,
Cheers, y'all.